What's good, ladies and gents of YouTube? We're here today with a replay review on Dispatch playing Regicide, one of my favorite maps. It looks pretty cool. SugarKetchup 12, longtime viewer of the channel, and it's going to be very easy to look at replay because I'm going to talk about gunfighting mechanics as well as positioning, which I think are the two main issues in this gameplay. It's a very tight scoring game. I have removed some of it because there's about 3 or 4 plays that get kind of redundant where you end up going down into the bottom center and just sort of dying without getting good trades off. And that happens about 3 or 4 times in the mid game, and ultimately I think it hurts you. First, I want to check this out right here. Your one shot, you go for the jump. There's no reason to do that. It's the beginning of the game, you have a sniper rifle, and you want to hold on to it. Now, I can understand if it's like the last kill and you need to get ahead, then of course, take that risk and go for it. But you just lost a power weapon, and you lost the almighty momentum early in the game. You'll gain it back here by getting the kingship, but you spend a lot of time here on the floor. Something that I've talked about before, and you guys have actually brought up to me before, is on Dispatch locking down a portion of the map where you spawn, like on the outer ring. And we're not talking locking down the center or the bottom floor, we're talking the outer ring. Now, when I say gunfighting mechanics, I want you to look at this fight and remove the redundant actions, the actions that are not needed, that are slowing you down from getting the kill, because there's a lot. First of all, this nade, I wouldn't have thrown it. It's sort of a wasted nade. It doesn't even splash him. He's 2 shots in. You throw another nade, which is a wasted action. You don't need to do it. He saw you throw it. He's going to move it. The thrust pack right there, unneeded action. And then finally, going to finish the kill. But there was a lot of time wasted when if you would have just stayed gun up, BR, fighting, firing down rage, you would have killed him much quicker. You jump also a lot in fights. This is something that I notice a lot in my own gameplay, especially if I've taken a break from Halo and come back. Do not do that, as well as this whole bottom center stuff. You don't want to be spending time on the floor in the bottom center. You want to lock down a portion of the map. That's what I've been told in Regicide, and it works. Yeah, or at least I feel like it works for me. That's my opinion. I want to bring this play up here. You go into the top center and hang out here for a very long time. I think your intention was to pull the OS, but the unfortunate thing is you didn't pay attention to the original timing of the OS. If you would have, you'd know that it was going to come closer to 7 minutes and 50 seconds rather than 8:45. So while I like the initiative, you spend way too much time up here because you don't know what the actual timing is, and it's going to get you killed actually by the king in a moment. The king is just able to waltz up. He sees you hanging out there taking a picnic. He's going to make use of it. And then I want to bring you back here for these gunfighting mechanics. You're really struggling to get the crosshair to line up with targets when it gets into the close encounters. I feel like your reliance on the bolt shot, once it becomes a close range, mid to close range engagement, is maybe a downfall. Because the longer range stuff, you're having no issues getting those like shots down. But when it's a gunfight up close, I feel like it's awkward. It's uncomfortable where you want to put the stick. And again, we're hanging out in the top center. There's no reason to do this. It just, everybody and their brother gets to look at you, get a nice sight line to you. It's hard to escape. Whereas if you lock down a portion of the outer section of the map, I think you're going to do much better. Again, this is a close match, so it's going to come down to close things, small things. The higher like up you get on the skill curve, the more you have to fine-tune smaller mistakes. But even in a situation like this, you're unaware of the person behind you. You'll get the bolt, but if it were a better player, you'd be dead in that situation, and you had still part of an OS hanging out with you. Again, a nice bolt shot, but at the same time, I like to see it in unison with a strong BR. Alright, so gunfight mechanics, again, jumping within this fight, things that I wouldn't recommend. And as the score gets closer and closer here at the final portion of the game, I do see benefit in targeting the king and trying to focus him down for those 30 points. It can be really nice if that's a juicy king. And here we go. Oh, no, I thought that was going to happen. Pulls the BR out, and if you wouldn't have dropped that last shot, man, you could have got a beautiful double as you spun around and finished things up. Now that you're the king, man, sprint and juke into a fight with the storm rifle guy, but ends up giving him the BR. I'm interested actually to see how this plays out. I watched it once before the game started. I think those guys are playing together. Are they? Wasted nade. Certainly wasted nade. You got to work on that, man. Don't throw the nades mid-gunfight. The nade is a defensive tool if they're going to push you. If you get them to chase you and you still have your nades, my gosh, you're in such a beautiful position. And that's what that outer ring can let you do if you play the outer ring. You get close to them, you get in a gunfight, you can pull back, but those nades, like just throwing the nade, arbitrarily. It feels like you're just throwing it because you have it. They are so important. So important. And the ending is going to come down to something so tight. Just one drop shot in your BR strain. Actually, 2 drop shots, I believe, in the BR string. And that's going to do it, as you're not going to be able to wrap it up for the first place. But it was a tight match, and thank you. So I'll see you in bullet points. Okay, so as I noted earlier, I'm not going to be pointing out anything huge or crazy. I'm just going to say that your gunfight mechanics, you need to polish them. When the games get tight like that, you really have to critically look, did I make the best of every single engagement I made? Was it a benefit to my score, or was I hurting myself and slowing down my pace? Jumping is not something that's going to help, and wasting grenades is big time. That's like a big time no-no. It's a really easy thing to sort of change your thinking, change your style, and make sure that you're using those nades to effective use. Like, you want to feel like, I'm glad I threw that, rather than, darn, well, I've got one left. The other thing I want to point out is the positioning. No more top center stuff. No more hanging out on the floor. Lock down your section of the outer ring. You only have 2 sight lines, 2 choke points to pay attention to then, instead of people from all over the map. But otherwise, I thought it was a great match. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully this was helpful. If you have feedback, of course, as I've noted earlier, my viewpoints are just my own, and what I see in these are just the things I think are important. But there's no one way is the right way. It's just, everybody has their own style, and you can use it to look at this stuff. Other than that, I'm crazy busy still with midterms and school, so hopefully I can get more content out to you guys. But get ready, the E3 hype is on the way. I'm telling you, it's going to be a nice year for Halo. Yep, we'll see you next time. Have a good day. Adios.